Hello everyone, Alicia here with another lightened up Weight Watcher friendly recipe. And today I am going to be making Taco Bell inspired Mexican pizzas. We love these, they're very easy to make. These are inspired by the Taco Bell version. They're just a whole lot better for you and they're so easy to make that I really enjoy making them. I am going to be having these making these for dinner, but you could make these whenever. They make a great lunch, dinner, snack, whatever. But let me jump in to ingredients real quick and I'll show you what you're gonna need to make these. So here I've got some corn tortillas or white corn tortillas. I'm using the Pueblo Lindo brand. I get those at Aldi. Those are still kind of my favorite at the moment as far as points. They're pretty good point wise. So I'm gonna be using 8 of those, but you can use whatever type of corn tortilla you want. And then here, I've got some Kroger Reduced Fat Mexican style blend shredded cheese. I'm gonna be using a cup of this. I'm gonna be using a half a cup red enchilada sauce, and then a cup of fat-free refried beans, which is roughly half of this can. Here I've got some 93% lean ground turkey. That is a half pound or 8 ounces. As I always like to say, I use the 93% because I buy it in bulk, but if you wanted to cut more points off of this, you could use a 99% fat-free, and that would shave 8 points off because that's what that is. I've got about a 1/4 cup green onions or scallions chopped here, and then a medium tomato that I've chopped up. Got a 1/4 cup water. I'm gonna be using a tablespoon of this taco seasoning, some olive oil spray, and salt, and that is everything that you're gonna need to make this. So in a frying pan here on medium-high heat, I'm gonna add in my ground turkey and get that browning. While that turkey is cooking, I'm gonna get my tortillas ready. So I've got my oven preheating to 400, and what I've got here is just a large cookie sheet that I've lined with parchment paper, and I'm gonna put all 8 of my tortillas on here. If you don't have a cookie sheet that's large enough to fit all of them on, you can do them on 2 different sheets, or you can just do 2 batches of these. But mine's just barely big enough to fit all 8. So now I'm gonna take my cooking spray. I'm gonna spray each side of these with it. And then sprinkle with a little bit of salt. And then I'm gonna flip them over and do the same on the other side. Now I'm gonna bake these at 400 for 8 minutes, and I am going to flip them halfway through the baking time. In a small bowl, I'm gonna take roughly half of this can of refried beans, or a cup, and I'm gonna add it to the bowl, and then I'm gonna microwave this for about 30 seconds to get this softened up and easier to spread. And a little tip, since you do have half a can left, you could double this recipe, and I have done that in the past. And just what I do is I'll make half of the pizzas one night and then just kind of have all the ingredients ready to go and put together another set of them the following night. And that way you don't have leftovers of the beans or the enchilada sauce, and you would just want to double up on your meat. I've got my meat brown, so now I'm going to add in 1/4 cup of water and a tablespoon of taco seasoning. And I'm going to just stir that all together and let that cook in there for about 5 minutes or so. And at this point, I turn my heat down to low. And my tortillas are done here. So what I'm gonna do is just let those continue to sit on the pan until my meat is ready. So on this meat, I let it continue to kind of cook on low for another few minutes. And I did end up adding another tablespoon of water to it because it was looking a little drier than it typically does. It all kind of depends on the water content of your turkey, and mine was apparently a little lower this time. So I will have down in the instructions that it's anywhere from a 1/4 cup to a 1/3 cup of water, depending on the moisture content of your turkey and how moist you want the meat to be anyway. But This is looking good. So now I'm gonna go ahead and put these together. So I'm gonna start off with spreading a 1/4 cup of the refried beans on 4 of these. So that's roughly a 1/4 cup, or just a 1/4 of the beans total. So now I'm gonna just take my meat mixture and I'm gonna evenly divide it between the 4 of these. Next, I'm gonna top each one of these with 2 tablespoons of cheese. And let me know, you guys, if I'm the only one that will pick up the little pieces of cheese that fall off, because I wanna get every little bit on there. All right, next I'm gonna take another tortilla and top each one of these with it. And then at this point, I'm gonna go ahead and spread these out. Now I'm gonna add a tablespoon or 2, just kind of depending on how much you want on here, of the enchilada sauce. I am doing closer to 2, but it does start running off if you don't do it real slow. Next, I'm gonna sprinkle a little bit of that tomato on top. And I do reserve some of this and the green onions for garnishing as well. And sprinkle some green onion. If you don't like tomatoes or green onion, you don't have to put either of these on, but we do. And finally, I'm gonna top with another 2 tablespoons of cheese. And now I'm gonna put these back in the oven at 400 for about 7 to 8 minutes, or until that cheese is nice and melted on top. Here's how these are looking when they're done. I bake these for just about 8 minutes, which is pretty much the perfect amount for my oven. So now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna let these sit for just a couple minutes, cool down a little bit, and then I will plate one up and show you how we eat them, give you points and all that. Okay, and here is how I eat these. I like to cut these in 4 little pieces with the pizza cutter so that they're a little easier to eat. That's what it looks like. And I went ahead and topped mine with some fat-free Greek yogurt and a little more of the tomato and green onion that I had left over. And none of that carries any points. The points in general are 8 per one of these, which I don't think is too bad, because again, this really kind of hits the spot when you're craving something fast foodish. This is it without being super unhealthy. So we really enjoy these a lot. They're pretty simple to make. And like I said, you can definitely double the recipe. And then that way you're using up that full can of refried beans and enchilada sauce. Definitely a really easy, tasty recipe, not too bad in points, and one that we really enjoy. So I wanted to share it with you guys, and I hope you enjoyed. Thank you as always for watching, and I will see you on the next one.